Hello friends and welcome back to another Let's Play episode of F1 Manager 22. My name's Yodin. Thanks again for being here with me. So in the last few races, you know what? Haas is doing okay. We're a little bit above our season objective target. However, we're obviously still getting used to how everything's going to work out. We are going to Australia though next. Australia is one of my favorite tracks, mostly because it used to be the first track on the circuit and I was always excited to see it come up on the calendar. But let's take a peek at what is in store. So going over the track information, we have the car attributes. We have top speed, low speed, high speed, everything. It's recommended that you have everything for this track, just saying. It kind of looks like cornering is a pretty big priority, especially high speed cornering and high speed dirty air. Not that we really have a lot of option with that. I think we are still in the development stage for the front wing and rear wing. And I don't even remember what we're supposed to be getting here. We're going to be getting better low speed downforce, medium, high speed brake cooling, airflow. And I think we did a balanced approach so that it should be relatively just across the board a decent upgrade. You know, we've got 19 million in the bank, by the way. And I think if we're talking about the monthly balance, we're pretty much getting 5 million every month. So I don't think there's any reason not to go ahead with a couple more upgrades here at headquarters. So let's go ahead and do maybe, I don't know, take a look at the design center. Everything starts with design, right? And it would cost, oof, this is going to be 11 million if we wanted to design, to improve the design center. We've got the CFD wind tunnel simulator stuff. This is going to give us, what, airflow middle, downforce improvements across the board. God, this is kind of crazy. It looks like it's just straight doubled. The amount of improvement, effects gained per unit of testing. Airflow, front, DRS, delta. I'm guessing that basically every time you put an upgrade into the wind tunnel, your stuff does better. It's going to take 63 days. Ooh, this would be 10 million as well, though. This is, yeah, pretty much everything at this point is kind of pricey. 7 million for the oh, I think I misread. What was I misreading here? Maybe I read this. The monthly upkeep is 417 and I thought that was the upgrade. Suspension is going to be 7.5 million. Oh, okay, so maybe I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. At least we have a team hub. Everyone can come in and get some coffee. We're not really big into the scouting department yet. I think we're fairly happy with our drivers, even though they are apparently the worst on the grid. Although, if we're in it for the long haul, we know that we've got Kevin Magnussen for 3 more years. Mick is on a 1-year contract, but he does have a really high rate of improvement. So wouldn't that make sense that we try to retain or improve the weekly experience? I kind of think that would make sense. Why don't we try to upgrade the simulator? That's going to be a cool $2 million. That way our drivers are just getting better experience every time. Tour Center is going to give us a basic, where'd it go? $13,000 every week. That's fine. So we'll build that as well. Memorabilia is going to improve the staff and drivers' morale just a smidge. Can't hurt there. We do have a decent amount of money, I think. Helipad is going to give us the team attractiveness increase and sponsor target payout. Sure, why not? Every good company needs a helipad. And then a hospitality area is going to be team attractiveness and team attractiveness locked into level 2. Huh, fair enough. We will go ahead and also start construction on a hospitality area as well. Forecast accuracy would be improved if we upgrade the facility. This is going to be 1.5 million. I'm just going to spend all of our money, apparently. Let's go ahead and bump this up to 70% accuracy. I do think some of the ways that we're going to get onto the podium is going to be taking advantage of weird situations, abnormal race conditions. So being able to jump on accurate weather information, I think, is going to help us out quite a bit. So we're down to about 14 million, which isn't really far off of where we were. We can only design 2 parts. We can only build 2 things at a time. So I don't particularly think we need to upgrade the factory, although an upgrade would improve the manufacturer speed by 6%. What's the stuff that could help us next season as well? I really think it's going to be some of this stuff here. This is the CFD and the wind tunnel make the parts just better across the board. So let's save a little bit more money. We've got a couple of big chunky upgrades coming down the road. Taking a quick peek at our mailbox. Post-race overview. Carlos Sainz claimed the checkered flag at a Saudi Arabia Grand Prix ahead of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. We've got allowed them to further extend their lead. Yep, that makes sense. All eyes are currently on Haas as they're performing below. What? No, we're not. We're performing way above everyone's expectations. Get out of here. The board watched the race and they're disappointed. Oh, come on, guys. Post-race debrief. Go to Mick Schumacher's profile. What does this say? Defending performance of Michael Schumacher could be improved. Developing them in this area when they gained enough experience. Oh, hey, we've got our first development point. How about that? So they said that we should do defending on Mick, which is fair, but honestly, I kind of think that the pace stuff would be better, right? Like across the board, wouldn't we want to just have better pace no matter what? And we did say that cornering is going to be important come Australia. So let's put 1 point into cornering. Heading back over to Kevin. Does he have one as well? He does. Let's go ahead and give him a better reaction rating. We'll try to get everybody... his pace is pretty decent. What is control? The ability to prevent racing incidents. That does make sense because Kevin's at 71 and Mick is at 75. And I think I have seen more issues from Kevin than we have from Mick. Morale is high from Pietro. They gain boosted experience while driving in the first practice session. Oh, interesting. They gain boosted experience while driving in the first practice session of a race weekend. Interesting. What's his age, by the way? He's 25 years old. I really would think if we're gonna be, you know, shepherding someone's career, we kind of want a really young driver. Would be my assumption there. So we are scouting Jack Duhan and Theo Pourchaire. Don't know how long that's going to take. Very high patience for negotiating. We really know no stats about them whatsoever. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next race. Up to Australia. There's some construction complete helipad and the memorabilia room. Literally all they did is they put that high school trophy case in. Board confidence. They are confidence. We're going to know more in 4 months. That's fair. Car development report. Car's performance is 13th on the grid right now. We kind of dropped a bit, didn't we? From the first practice session of the year. March fiscal report. We're making monies. Construction. Okay. There's our tour center. Now we can get grand tours here in Kannapolis and go on down to the NASCAR track. The Charlotte Motor Speedway is about 15 minutes away from Haas F1. And ZMAX Dragway if you're into NHRA racing. All right, Australia is coming up. Etc., etc. Tour center's complete. Fair enough. Practice sessions. Good morning, and performance targets. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to do much here for performance targets. We are actually doing the streak. I did sign us up for a performance streak, so we have to have one driver above 14th, which we kind of have to stay on target with anyways in order to keep the team points high. I think we can qualify at least 12th. Sure. And I don't know if I want to do tons of these. We're not really going to get the fastest lap, I don't reckon. So into the race we go, my friends. Australia. Super excited to see Australia on the grid. This is one that is probably, if you've played like F1... Oh, we're going to get an intro.
For a weekend of fierce competition. We're a stone's throw from the beach here at the Albert Park circuit. It might be party mood in the grandstands, but in the paddock, expectations and tensions are high. The Albert Park circuit is bursting with rapid corners and a long straight where drivers can push their speed to the limits. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. What will happen this weekend? Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. F1 changed up, Australia's track did get adjusted, didn't it? Between, I don't remember which, it's kind of hard for me to reference it because I really only know it from playing the F1 22 game. I think that this is the long, this is that S curve coming into the back. Okay, so this is kind of like, I feel like they changed one of the turns here. This is pretty much the long run into that weird chicane that's kind of a medium speed chicane. And then you're going along the back of the, kind of like the last couple of corners. That's pretty standard. It's a pretty easy corner. I don't remember which one they changed here. It might have been this one. I think they changed something around turns 3 to 5. I don't remember, but I played a lot of Formula 1 2022 or 2021 or whichever EA sport of the moment there was. Let's go ahead and try out our reserve driver. Let's grab Pietro in here to give him some boosted experience. We'll sit him in here because he doesn't really have any... Oh, this is kind of cool. This just has an experience gain thing. Boosted experience for session. Yeah, fair enough. And then car setup, we really haven't done much testing. Oh, what does it look like for the week end? It's cloudy right now. I didn't quite see the report. Can we see? We've got partly cloudy, cloudy, and partly cloudy again. Fair enough. Let's jump right into practice. What I'm going to do this time to try to save us a little bit of commentary is I'm going to probably just show you the results of P1 and maybe just the results of practice overall, because at this point we've kind of seen what we've seen, and unless something really exciting happens, I'll just see you at the end of practice. Okay, so I'm going to come back to you here. We're in the latter half of the third practice session, and so far I'm feeling pretty good. We actually got Kevin Magnussen up to 100% track familiarity. I've been running this last session. I actually just ran a really long amount of laps on the hard tires, just specifically to focus on that track acclimatization, because they're pretty close overall to getting a the perfect setup here. So the rest of it's just probably doing a really tiny amount of tweaking here. So if I can maybe just get everything shifted over a smidge, we might kind of open up some new different values. Traction, though, is a bit too far off, so I think we need to keep that relatively close. You change one, you change all 17, I guess. Toe out, maybe? Yeah, toe out's what I'm looking for. So everything's pretty close together. I'm pretty happy with 85%. Let's go ahead and just do a couple of qualifying passes. As you can see, I really wore the softs down to nothing. And then we're over to one set of the mediums and one set of the hards, kind of have been used the last few runs. So let's grab a new soft. And these 30 laps of... I'm so confused here. You need to use a tire compound with at least 30 laps of use. Oh, because my run plan is still set to 30 laps. That's what I had it on, because I'd made them have a really long stint earlier. No problem. So I'm just going to say, let's just actually plan for a really short run, like maybe even 6 laps, because I just want to do a qualifying run. That way the car is nice and light with less fuel. That does play a factor, by the way, if you kind of think about how heavy the car is when you're refueling and as you're going later in the race. That's why a lot of drivers go in for a late pit in order to put on a new set of softs and try to go for that extra point if the race is kind of static and it's not terribly close. Although this year in 2022, with all the improvements that Formula One has made in terms of cars performing close to each other, I think that we're in a kind of a new era of, you know, close in following and like that last little bit of the race battle. It's really been interesting this year. I cannot get the corner. I need cornering down. Yeah, every time I move one, I'm moving the wrong things here. There we go. Everything is kind of similar. I think we're in the right zone everywhere. So we'll do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and do a little bit shorter on laps. Now remember that in the first practice, I used Pietro for the run. So in this case, Schumacher doesn't actually have as much knowledge as Magnussen for this little stint jaunt that we've been doing. So let's go ahead and finish up practice together. I'm going to speed this up to 16 times. We've only got about 20 minutes left. No rain has hit the track. The track is hopefully going to be rubbered up by the time qualifying rolls around. Let's go ahead and send Kevin out. And as soon as somebody spun off or something, let's go ahead and send Mick out as well. We're at the end of the third practice session, and that indicates that Kevin's car is really tuned in here. No one else has managed to get a faster speed than us. Not that it says we're going to be perfect for the race, but it is a nice indicator that we're definitely up there in performance. Mick, meanwhile, didn't really get the best run that he could have because everybody was up in his business. He only got 85% track knowledge as well, so he'll be at a little tiny bit of a disadvantage, or not even a disadvantage as much as he won't get the fancy... he won't get the bonus points or the performance bonus that Kevin has. Nice job, Kevin. 120 with a 1.8. And the next fastest car is Charles Leclerc with a 0.25 behind. Not too bad. I'm okay. I'm happy to beat Ferrari out in practice. Why aren't we coming in, guys? What's going on? I think I screwed something up on that. That was a little bit of a weird weird stint, if you will. They did 2 laps at once. Oh God, that's awkward. Kevin ran out of gas at the end of the session. Are we? Oh no, he got disqualified, I think. I'm guessing that's what the big X is for. That was really awkward. I need to take a look and see why that happened. I kind of thought that whenever you do the configuration, they send you out with enough fuel to make it happen. But there you go. Now it says no position here. Did we get eliminated or did we not get eliminated? I think we're still in the race. That's fine. We're at 80% and 88% confidence, by the way, on the setup. I really don't want to make any more changes. I'm fairly happy with where we are. I'm going to leave one fresh set. Oh, no, we actually have one good set right now for the race. I'm going to reuse... Oh, I think... Like, do we have to have a... I think we have one at least good set for the start of the race. I think we can do another set for this Q2. That makes sense. So include the cooldown lap. Flying lap 1. I want to make sure he doesn't run out of fuel again. I'm guessing it was because of the way I did the setup there. Something about that did not float right. All right, fresh tires for both the guys. Manage qualifying session 2. We'll try to pump this out really quick and get on to the race. Again, 40% chance of rain. Pretty cloudy. Nothing on the racetrack expected in terms of rain here. Track water. Ah! What just happened? We did get retired. So we made it through the first session, but we weren't allowed to participate in the second session. Is that what I'm seeing? Do we have any fuel in here? Include the cooldown lap. We have fuel, right? We have 6 kilograms of fuel here. So we should be able to make it out. How strange. That was really, really bizarre. So as a result of some kind of weird fuel configuration, unfortunately, Kevin, although he made it past the first qualifying round, did not make it into Q2. I'm guessing if you run out of fuel in Q1, you immediately get the equivalent of disqualified in Q2. Let's let all the drivers do a first pass and see where we fall in the order. 1.5 off the pace. God, everyone is way off the pace right now. Is this some kind of weird bug going on? 2 seconds off the pace, 3 seconds off the pace. You'd kind of expect everyone to be pretty close together. We can go ahead and give it another shot. We'll keep the same tires we've got. The run plan should say, yep, 5.7 kilograms. That makes sense as well. We'll leave everything the way it is. The same tires on the car. And we'll just, yeah, we actually do want to kind of just cancel what I was doing. I do have to say same tires. Confirm. And then off you go, my friend. One more pass around. Just to kind of cover ourselves a little bit. We're already out, so there's only 4 drivers in the bubble. Sorry, in the that have been eliminated so far. So as long as none of these other drivers make a better pass, we did improve our position by 1. So nicely done, Mick. Up to 7th place. So we are into Q2. Not too shabby. Sorry, we're into Q3. Oh no! And everyone did a better lap. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. What is happening with the car not coming in here? What is the deal? The car should automatically come in. And maybe I changed some kind of some settings somewhere along the way. Anyways, Haas wound up qualifying 13th and 15th. Not the best. I would have kind of preferred that we were right up there, right along, 11th or 12th. But that was likely kind of me sending people out and not waiting patiently for the right time to have the drivers jump out there and have clean air in front of their run. But, you know, we are Haas. We are still the last rated team, on the grid. So it is what it is. I think I'd like to try a one-stopper. And I don't mind trying the medium tires. Now, can we get information on... Let's go back here. Do we see anything about the tire performance? Pre-race report, post-practice report, compound performance. This is kind of what I was looking at. So, the average lap for a medium set of tires was a 119.79. Time lost from degradation, 119.77 for the hard tires. So we are actually getting post-race data, post-practice data that's kind of new. So the hard tire is actually outperforming the medium tire, and the hard tire is going to degrade less than the mediums, according to this. Interesting. With that information in mind, do we see anything about train or anything else like that? Nothing yet. Pit lane loss, by the way, is going to be 25 seconds. So with that being said, I kind of like plan C, using the hards because they're a little bit better, and maybe having a little bit of flexibility towards the later end of the race. Remember, I think both drivers are actually pretty good at kind of conserving the tire, and they tend to make them last longer than this estimate shows. So what would we need? Let's go ahead and delete plans A and B, and we'll make this the new plan A. If we did a soft tire, what would we need to extend to? God, we have to extend that way the heck out. Yeah, that'd be a little bit ridiculous. There's no way we're going to make it last that long. And then we would lose, yeah, that's 0.19 or 0.15 seconds. Tires just kind of running off there. So if we went one lap earlier, it's telling us that we would, well, it's pretty much the same exact time. It switched to green there, but I think it's the same. All right, so it looks like the plan that we've got, plan A, looks like one of the better plans. Just to be fair, let's reverse this. And let's say we did the mediums first and then the hards and see what the estimation says. It's pretty much the same time. If you look over on the timing screen to the right, the estimated race time is kind of the same. We are expecting no rain so far. There's our forecast. So 40% chance of rain across the board. I guess we'll try hards into mediums. I don't know what else we'd want to do here. We can take a look at... Kevin tends to perform a little bit better, so we could try... I don't know, we could try a two-stopper where we go the softs into a hard compound early, into another set of softs way later in the race. Let's see what this does for our timing. Yeah, we're losing time no matter what we do here, according to this, because we have so many... Remember, you're losing 25 seconds each time you pit. So if we skip a pit, at the end of the race, we're saving a full 25 seconds. Plus or minus a little bit, depending on how the pit crew does. So even though the softs perform better, we're still losing out. And so far, there's no real way that this is outperforming our current strategy. So, with that being said, I think we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stick with plan C, now plan A. Both drivers are on the same plan, and we'll just play it by ear. Keep an eye on the weather. Both drivers are scheduled to come in around lap 33, which is not fantastic, but of course we can always have, we can pull one driver in, the other driver goes around a lap, and then we'll bring the other driver in. So someone's going to get the better pit stop.
The drivers have now taken position on the grid, and it's looking like a cloudy day. Mick Schumacher there. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish.
Rude.
Then we have Kevin Magnussen. The race start is...
This announcing stuff is rough.
Get ready.
It really is like the
Australian
early days of when they've started pulling in, like... I think NBA probably does it the best.
It's lights out, and away we go.
All right, yeah, but NBA 2K does the announcer, kind of the seamless announcer stuff pretty well. So here we are in the middle of the pack. I kind of think... God, I don't really want to set anything too early. Let's see what happens with as the team, or everybody goes into turn one. Have we seen a massive accident in turn one yet? He says, jinxing everything. We did gain a position there with Schumacher. Nicely done. Directly behind Alonso and Ricciardo. Magnussen's down in 15th. I think I'd like to push it around that long, lazy back straight. We are getting passed by Zhou Guanyu, but I think we've got the inside corner twice. So let's go ahead and tell Mick to be a little bit aggressive and go ahead and deploy the ERS a wee bit early to make sure we try to or that. That was a little bit awkward. We had to slam on our brakes there and completely lost about 5 seconds behind Zhou Guanyu.
Looks like that was a position gained for Alfa Romeo.
All right, Mick, you're doing okay. Let's go down to Kevin and see how Kevin's doing. He's in the back of the pack, just living his own dream and running his own race. We are behind Yuki Tsunoda. We are in front of Nicholas Latifi. Nothing really going on crazy there. I think I'm going to go ahead and just speed this up for a bit. If Mick can get back in touch with the Alfa Romeo, I will eventually pull him down a bit on the performance. How about we do some aggressive overtaking right now? Can I go ahead and send him into an attack and see if we can really pass the Alfa Romeo on this lap? Come on, buddy. No, our front line, our straight line speed is not doing it. Not enough. All right, we're going to go back to normal performance, rather, not normer. I don't want to burn up my lovely hards. Who are you competing against, by the way? What is everybody else running? So everyone else is on the mediums. Literally everyone but us and Seb. Seb knows what's going on. Everyone else but us is on medium tires right now. So I don't think we need to burn our tires. Remember, our tires are going to last just a tiny bit longer than the mediums, but over time, that's going to add up, right? So we're going to just play a nice, smooth race, do some tire conservation, and see if we can just eke out a couple of better end-of-race laps. With that being said, I really don't know if there's going to be a lot to show you during the race. Let's take another peek at radar, make sure nothing has changed here. Not really. Kevin's pretty much on par with his tire usage, while Mick looks to be starting to conserve that medium tire. Maybe we'll switch to a really late, kind of a late in the race soft tire if we're not doing that fantastic, but there is a gap. I mean, we have managed to game the system before, so if no other drivers are going for that fastest lap towards the end, I mean, even 1 point it does go to the constructor, right? It goes to the driver. I actually don't know if it goes to the constructor. You get a point, though, so I'm assuming it's going to go to the constructor as well, but maybe you have to be in 10th or better to get the constructor's points, and maybe that fastest lap goes to the driver. I really actually don't know that one. It's going to be kind of good to figure out, but at this point, we're really trying to buck for that 6th position in the Constructors' Championship. We want to be a little bit farther up the grid. All right, well, I'm going to speed things up for a bit, and maybe you can just watch here as I got the footage really sped up, and we'll see if Mick can stay with the pack and eventually make a pass now that he's got the DRS assistance enabled. All right, so we let a couple laps go by. Unfortunately, we got a sneaky Pierre in here, a sneaky Frenchman, who just passes. We were actually on the back of Zhou Guanyu, and I don't know what happened. I looked away for like a split second, and all of a sudden we lost a position. So we are managing to hold with the other drivers, and as you can see, the tire quality is starting to kind of taper off a little bit. So we are our tire quality basically is a smidge better than everyone else's, and that's only going to increase over time. What that means is everyone else should be going into the pits first. We're going to get a couple laps of nice clean air, but at the end of the day, even if we, I mean, what are they doing? If they are doing, can I make an assumption and say I think I have to use the hard compound. So if they're doing a medium, the medium tires, I'm trying to find and remember where that delicious track data was. There was something in here about performance of tires. Cloudy, cloudy, partly cloudy. No changes there. It might have been in a view that was a little bit farther on. Oh, right there. Compound performance. So the mediums are going to be competitive for 29 to 29 laps. The hards can be competitive for 29 to 40 laps. So if the other drivers are on a medium strategy, let's go back into our nifty strat screen. They're going to be coming in on lap 30. That means we're going to get about anywhere from 3 to 5 extra laps. And then this is a 60 lap race. This is a 57 lap race. So even if they do I guess they're going to do hard. It would be a soft into a hard would be my assumption, because they're coming in on 30 and then they're going to have the hard. So we're doing the opposite. And at the end of the day, I guess it's all going to be a moot point anyways, because we're switching the order of operators here. We're using the harder tire up front. Everyone else seems to be using the soft tires. How do we change that? How do we react to that? I don't know. I do like being on a different strategy than everyone else, although I probably should have split it a little bit more so that, you know, Mick was on the soft into hard, and then Kevin's on the hard into soft, or mediums rather. Hard into mediums, and then Kevin's on the mediums into hards. That way, if there is an accident, we can kind of react to it a little bit better. I like that the two guys in front of us are fighting. Let's go ahead and try to be a little bit more aggressive this lap. We've just been very patient back here. I'm going to give Mick all the orders to attack on this front straight. So we're going into the last turn. Here comes the front straight. There's the DRS right there. So DRS is deployed. There's the Alfa Romeo in our sights. Come on, buddy. Dive down the inside and just send it. What's the worst that could happen? That's a bit unfortunate. So, I mean, everyone in this row, everyone has DRS, right? The only thing that could be helpful here is if Valtteri was far enough back to not get... Ooh, that's pretty good. We're passing on the outside. We're gonna have the inside line going into the next turn. Yes. Then a kick back to the right. We look like we are gaining on him. We have the position according to the timing screen. Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done. We still have some extra tire to play with, so maybe this is the way to go. We've got extra tire quality, so we can drive a little bit more aggressive than the other drivers who have to... They're all kind of on the same tire. Our tire is performing better. Let's keep it going. I'm going to set this to overtake only. I don't know if that, you know, means we only deploy when we're in this position right here. We're going for that actual overtake. We have extra fuel. Everyone's still really tight together coming into the last couple turns before the back straight. So I'm going to see if we can do this again. How are we doing on tires compared to everybody else? 83 to 87. I mean, if we have to switch to hard... Oh, we only have one hard tire set, don't we? We can't be terribly aggressive. We do have to make these tires last a couple more laps, but I do want to see what happens in this front straight. I want to pass everyone in one nice group. Let's just go up 4 positions. 3 positions. We're diving down to the inside. We're going to send it. We almost went 3 wide there. Not so much, buddy. Nice attack. I like this, actually. This is kind of cool. It even said that he did take a look down the inside. So we've got Zhou Guanyu going on the outside of the 3rd turn on Pierre Gasly, getting the position. We're kind of hoping that that messes up Pierre a little bit, and we're able to kind of sneak in while everyone else is fighting, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and go back to neutral for a bit. Why are we actually... I've been aggressive on the fuel, but it keeps saying that we have extra fuel delta. We have more fuel. We have 3 extra laps of fuel. How does that make sense? I've actually been pushing the entire time, which kind of boggles my mind. All right, I've been spending a lot of time with Mick. Let's come back to Kevin and see what he's up to. So he's kind of getting Mick's trash here. We've got Yuki Tsunoda, we've got Valtteri in front of him, and then we've got Mick. Let's see if we can't close the gap. Let me get into the gap view, the interval view. Again, going into the last couple of turns before that front straight. So I'm going to go ahead and send Kevin on a bit more aggressive strategy. Let's close the gap. We're going to have the assistance of DRS in the front straight because we are within a second of the car in front. There goes the DRS. There goes K-Mag, question mark. Who's behind us, by the way? Lando? Lando! He's too far behind. Lando, buddy, are you enjoying F1 22? I'm sure you are. I'm sure you will. Do they even give drivers early access copies? Drivers are too important for that. Mick up ahead did get the pass done on Pierre Gasly. We did actually have him back to neutral. So he made that pass happen without any extra oomph other than a higher engine mode, which somehow we still have more fuel. Very confused as to how that's happening. Keep in mind, this is an early copy, guys, so it is possible that there are bugs and there are some last-minute tweaks to be done before the game day patch. So far, nothing glaring other than, you know, massive pileups during practice, which is super entertaining. Kevin's only got about a half lap of extra fuel. Meanwhile, I don't know if this is because of Mick's quality driving. We'll just say that Mick is so good that he's able to conserve all of this fuel. We're going to leave this on aggressive for one more lap. Little close there in the last couple turns. It really looks dark out here. I love how the weather looks on this camera, and I kind of am really hoping to see some rain at some point. Maybe we'll get a really wet and nasty Monaco, which everyone hates anyways. I always get excited about Monaco. There we go with the pass on the front straight on Yuki Tsunoda. We're going to get it. Oh, crap. No, because Valtteri pulled out to the inside and blocked us off. Whoa, you are going over the curves, my friend. What is happening right now? Mick just passed Ricciardo. He's up into 11th place. We are a minute. No, sorry, we're only half a second behind Pierre Gasly. So we're still in DRS range. Or did I just misunderstand that? Okay, they're trading back and forth is what's happening. Man, this little pack in the middle here, this is a pretty aggressive little group here. We've got the front leaders, Perez, Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, all in the top three. Verstappen's on his own, alone and sad, getting caught up here with Esteban Ocon in 5th. Fernando Alonso in 8th with Hamilton between them. And then our little pack, which is being led by Zhou Guanyu. And then in the back, we've got Alexander Albon, Latifi, Stroll, and Seb. Fun times. I'm going to go ahead and pull Magnussen off that aggressive push. But this is so weird. We're finally kind of neutral on fuel delta. We did just manage to get around Yuki Tsunoda. I see Valtteri up in front of us. Yep, we did get that pass done. Nicely done. Well, maybe I'll be aggressive again. We only got 5% battery left, but let's push it on this front straight. See if we can't close the gap down to Valtteri.
Position for Haas.
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir, it is. All right, we're not really going to get that done this lap. All right, back to neutral, my friend. Let's take a breath real quick. I'm going to zoom out and maybe speed the game up. I know we're doing lap by lap stuff, and we still have many, many laps to go. Taking a quick look at our strategy, I have been pushing the drivers hard. The tires are still performing to expectations, though. So good on them. I'm going to let the game run for a bit, and I will be back with you after maybe another dozen or so laps. We'll see what's going on. Okay, friends, we are coming up on the pit lane window. So we are starting to see other drivers in the pits right now. A little surprising, were these guys on? They are coming out on the hards. I guess they were on the softs. Can I actually see who was on what lap history? Leclerc, they were on the... Yeah, they actually were on the mediums, and they're stopping at lap 18. Gosh, they must have been really pushing their tires for that to run off that quick. Or that's just how... I mean, it kind of always suggests that you do it before 30% or so. I'm a little surprised that it's quite that early in the race. So I'm going to bring Mick down. I was kind of chasing a couple folks here. We are into 11th place. We're obviously going to pass everybody in the pits right now. We're still at 63%. So when everyone else goes into the pits, to be honest, if we can keep the gap down, nicely done, buddy. You just sent it. Sent it down the inside, and we did make a pass on Zhou Guanyu, so we are up into 7th place. Very nice. As long as the interval to leader, there actually is a pretty big gap to the leader, so the leaders are going to be able to pit and come out before we get into the first place. We're not even going to hold first place for a minute, which would be kind of entertaining, but the other leaders are going to have to pit here soon. Max just came out on on a set of hard tires at 99%. So these are the fresh tires. He's on a fresh set of hards. Words are hard. Let's pull Kevin down a little bit. And I'm just going to have the drivers drive their own race. We're not going crazy right now. We're just kind of playing the long game. To be fair, I did get caught up a little bit in aggressive driving because I love to be at the front of the pack. So I'm going to cool it for a bit and just let our drivers do their thing. I'm trying something a little bit cheeky here. I'm actually got Mick in front of Ricciardo, and I just gave him a team order to kind of hold up the cars behind. Also, I don't know if I want to give him the don't fight teammate because I'm assuming they're so close that's going to cause him to try to let our teammate by, but that means Ricciardo's going to go by as well. So what I'm trying to hope for is a double overtake here. So I want to see Kevin get around Ricciardo, and then one of our drivers, both of us, be in front of the McLarens, because right now the problem is that we keep doing this game of tag with the McLarens, and all we're doing is slowing ourselves down and running in dirty air. So I won a couple of nice clean laps. Alonso, Russell, Valtteri, there goes Ricardo, so he's going into the pits. We don't have to play this game anymore, so let's just go ahead and do a nice, calm... Actually, we've got clean air. I really don't know if I want to do a calm lap. I kind of want to push here. So let's go ahead and just say neutral for Mick. Let's get a little bit of a gap. I do want to keep Kevin close enough to keep getting the DRS. So we are 0.3 seconds behind. That was a little bit awkward. Dodging people coming out of the pits. We are up into 6th place, of course. Remember, we still do have to make a pit stop at some point. So we're not fully in the clear somehow. We still have 3.3. Whoa! No way, you guys! No way did we just watch that happen. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, well, we're still here.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, no kidding, you're bad. Come on, guys.
Jesus. Are you okay, Mick?
It wasn't even Mick's fault. He just got slammed from behind. Okay. We have an obvious front wing problem. So major damage to the front wing. We are going to have to pull Kevin in. Let's take a quick look. Let's try to keep this in... God, these tires won't last long. The front wing has taken a lot of damage. Oh, God, I know. How come you had a front wing damage too, Mick? Your tires are shot. I think he's actually got a flat. Oh, my God. We're going to have to double stack here. Well, you know what, Kevin? It's your own fault, so sucks to be you, buddy. Let's take a quick look at strategy and what we're going to have to do. So, hard compounds. We don't have another hard compound. We have to switch to a different tire. Oh, this is like the ugliest situation. Although, to be fair, I think everyone is actually doing a two-stop. The more I'm looking at the data and all that jazz. So, let's do this. We're going to go into a two-stop race. We're going to put the mediums on. Then we're going to switch over to some softs later on in the race. That is going to be the new strategy for Mick. And pretty much this... I mean, we don't have any other real option here. We're going to have to do the same thing. Unless we do... This could be just to have something different in case there's like a weird safety car somewhere. So let's put a medium on the end of this... We're going to put a medium on the end of this soft stint. So somewhere right about here. We're going to reverse it. So that way we don't have to stack the drivers and maybe we can separate them out a little bit. Oh, that's infinitely frustrating. Infinitely frustrating. Literally, we've seen this in Drive to Survive. If you watched it on Netflix, the two Haas drivers running into it. It's not these two drivers. It was Roman Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen playing tag. We're being like Red Bull here, guys. Come on. All right, let's go ahead and bring the guys into the pits. We're going to have to do... Oh, this is so ugly. Who has damage where? The back right is blown. I'm fairly sure that's what 10% means, or it's going. Minor damage to the front wing, suspension, and rear wing. That's just gross. That is just gross. Let's go ahead and make the pit. Pit options, we are switching over to the mediums. Not the wets, please. Mediums, there we go. Anything with the car parts? No. Only minor damage, so I don't think that's going to get changed. And then we are going to replace the front wing for Kev. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's replace the front wing since it does have major damage. 31-second pit stop. Brutal. Absolutely brutal, you guys. Holy crap. Both of them are pitting this lap. I would love an option to do more replays. I thought that was actually a pretty smooth... to watch the cars crash into each other. I think accidents... Nice, we got a penalty too. Why not? Why not? What's our penalty? Where does it tell us what the penalty is? Okay, that's not very helpful. I literally have no information about the penalty. I mean, we're still 9th and 10th, which is yay, I guess. We have a 5-second penalty for causing a naughty.
Understood.
But yeah, but I would like a instant replay ability because the crash animation was very well detailed, and I'm assuming what the developers have done, they've basically said these are the types of accidents that could possibly happen, and they've made animations for all of those. But that was really witchcrafty. There's our 5 seconds. We have a stop and go penalty is what this is. We're waiting 5 seconds. That was a stop go penalty, meaning if you've never seen this in F1, you have to stop and sit there for 5 seconds before you can leave. That was a little bit awkward on the end of that too. So, after all is said and done, everything hurts. We're down to 14th place, and we're down to, what was that, 19th? Oh, that was brutal. Absolutely brutal, friends. All right, well, I'm going to go cry in a corner. I'm going to get us back up to speed. No more aggressive driving from either of these drivers for a bit. They're both on punishment duty. Let's go ahead and just harvest some energy and play a nice, clean race and just see what transpires. This might have kind of ruined us, though. If we have to, we might have to retire Mick, in order to take care of the engine and the car. Remember, every race we're in, we are using the powertrain. We are putting strain on the engine and the gearbox. You can already see that the gearbox is down to 56% quality, and we still have 18, 19, I don't know, how many races are on the circuit? 20, 21? We still have a lot of races to go and only so many gearboxes to go through. So it might make sense to retire the cars, but then again, we don't want the board to get hyper mega pissed at us, so we'll have to see. Okay, we just get an alert that there is a crash in Sector 3. Who's not moving? I can't tell. It looks like Russell's gone off completely. So let's see how bad this is. He is spinning sideways down the track. That might be a yellow flag safety car. Can we take a look at where our drivers are on the track? Both drivers are past the start-finish line, so I don't have to rush to make a decision about a pit lane entry. Keep in mind, if we do go to a safety car, we will. Let's go and watch this replay real quick.
Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this
of
one.
the Mercedes drivers having fun. It's the same thing that happened to us. I bet one goes right into the other.
Goodness
Yep,
me, that
and
is
leaves
a
him behind.
serious collision.
I think that was Russell off the track in a safe place, though. I think Russell kind of went, oh, he's actually right there in front of Hamilton. Still a little bit of weird behaviors there in accidents. I think that the driver that got yeeted off in front, you'd think they're not going to stay there in position. I saw Russell literally go down the, what is it, the off-road, the safety road, whatever, the exit, and Ocon definitely would have passed him up, and he would have been somewhere, probably, if he recovered, way the heck behind Zhou Guanyu. So there's definitely some weird behaviors still to figure out. We're down in 15th place, unfortunately. No yellow flag there. We are out of DRS range. I kind of think we're just going to burn the rest of this race, friends, because I don't know if there's a whole lot for us to do here. We definitely had a good run going. Let's go ahead and pit Magnussen. Remember, he is on the weird soft tire kind of a thing going on. So we're going to put him onto the mediums. Go ahead and have him pit this lap. Although, to be fair, he did make those soft tires last a little bit longer. Well done, my friend. And yet again, Kevin has spun. Holy crap. This is, and I'm not even pushing them right now.
Oh, we've had a spin.
This is kind of
Let's
nuts.
have a look. Now,
Why
just
not? Let's have a
focus
look
on
and
the
break our
Haas.
hearts here. Coming into the final turn before the pit straight.
What a
Yep.
spin.
Not really. It wasn't really that big of a spin. It's a very low speed corner. Holy cow, guys. I almost want to say, let's just retire the car at this point. I mean, we're last place. Do we have any more damage here? We don't have any additional damage, but God, we are using the powertrain. Do we get penalized if we quit the race? I actually don't remember what happens if you retire the car. The race is over for your driver. This cannot be undone. There's no penalty involved as far as I could see. I mean, you never really know. Maybe there's a huge accident. Maybe we happen to get really lucky with the pit stop. Maybe there's a safety car that comes in and makes bunches the grid up again. There's options out there for us, but it's not looking too hot if Kevin keeps spinning around like a toy. All right, friends, we are pretty much on the last couple laps of the race here. Unfortunately, no real big changes in our position. It looks like, unless we can catch up to Yuki Tsunoda, we actually have a little bit of life left in these tires, so why not go aggressive? What's the worst that could happen? That's right. I said it. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and have... Where's Kevin at? Who is he
no more
behind at the moment? He's behind Seb.
Yeah, copy.
He's pretty far away from Seb. I really don't think we're going to catch up to that.
3 laps.
We'll see if we can't grab
laps.
Yuki Tsunoda in the last 3 laps, but unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be Nowhere near the points this race. Another rough race for us. Not so much, though, for Carlos Sainz, who is continuing his run of victory. So it's a 1-2 for Ferrari. Charles Leclerc comes in, or is coming in here second, Perez and Max, followed by Alonso, Russell, Hamilton, the Alfa Romeos. It is Alfa Romeo, right? I really can't see that. What's the, is this the AlphaTauri? Aston Martin, Williams, Haas. That's the AlphaTauri symbol. Who the heck is this? Why can't I figure this out? Hey, you know what we can do? We can literally go to the car and see them. God, the BW, what is that called? Why can't I remember that team name? I think I'm literally, this is what happens when you get old, my friends. You just start completely forgetting the teams. All I ever remember about that team is that Fernando Alonso is on the team. That's it. All right, let's go ahead and speed things up and get this oh so punishing race over with. First place is taken. You can't get it. Yeah, no kidding.
And Sainz crosses the line
and we did not
He's
catch up to
taken
Yuki
the win.
Tsunoda, unfortunately. Did we run out of gas? I really wasn't watching.
Okay, back off.
No, not really. All right.
Copy.
Not the best race we've ever participated in, but, you know, again, we are a bottom of the table team. We're going to work our way up and make some improvements. Couple of lessons learned there. Don't have our drivers near each other. Yeah, I would throw that away too if I were you. Are they going to have a fit? I want to see the drivers start fighting each other. Like, just come out and start just punching. Just punching the crap out of each other.
But they'll need to work some things out.
Why are you guys clapping? We had two drivers run into each other. We had one driver spin twice. Like, I don't think I even showed you the second time. But anyways, not the best ever. Meanwhile, in the Drivers' Championship, we've got Carlos Sainz on top with Charles Leclerc behind at 51 points, and then followed by Max Verstappen. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari has taken a massive commanding lead. They are 44 points, no, they are a ton of points ahead, 60 some odd points ahead of Red Bull, followed by Mercedes, Alpine. God, Alpine, why can't I remember that? And then Alfa Romeo, then AlphaTauri, Haas down here in a delicious 7th place. This is kind of rough. So our competitors this season, it's definitely turning into AlphaTauri is our main focus. So I'm going to start trying to tweak the car to beat AlphaTauri. And they have a pretty commanding lead over us in the Constructors' Championship. In fact, they placed 13th and 14th. No points awarded, so they must have... Where did they actually... How did they get that high? 14 points. They must have done really well this race. So the driver experience, we did actually manage to get 500 practice points out of Pietro Fittipaldi. So he actually got 500 points, which is pretty nifty. Again, I'm going to try to find a young driver who has really strong growth potential in order to maximize that practice experience. Because I think that's going to be a way to grow our young talent over time. So we're going to have our own internal as opposed to... what's the feeder team for Red Bull? Is it AlphaTauri? I think so. I think AlphaTauri is the baby team. So we did unfortunately fail our finish position streak. So we did have to pay $265,000. We also did not qualify where we wanted to and lost 27K. But still, at the end of the weekend, we came out with 3.5 mil. Not too bad. Not too shabs at all. And requires a response. Go over to the email. Let's take a look at what's going on. Regulation changes, minor technical changes. Let's see. We can go vote for stuff. We're proposing a minor technical regulation for 2023 season. We think it's time that the current chassis and side pod geometry had a revamp. This proposed regulation change will impact the performance of both car parts. So please review the technical breakdown before voting. Okay. Oh, here it is down here. Okay. What does this mean? What? This is kind of awful. Does this mean no matter what, we're just going to lose this performance? Airflow down the middle and airflow drag. I have no idea what's important here. I have no idea. Airflow over the front. I guess there's 2 things in the first one. There's 3 things in the second one. I have no idea here how important the airflow over the middle of the car and the drag reduction is going to be. I guess that seems a little bit more important because it's the chassis. It's a bigger part of the car. So I guess I'm going to focus on the side pod focus. or vote for the side pod focus. Regulator, sure, whatever. Post-race overview, it wasn't too pretty. A difficult race. Unfortunately, the board is not too pleased. Fair enough. Do our drivers have any development points? Sadly, not yet. What about Pietro? He had quite a few things going on there. Yeah, nicely done, my friend. I guess we'll do smoothness for you. Why not? Although I do plan to replace you as soon as we start getting some better scout results in there. The board is feeling still kind of medium. We are below target, but we're not terribly below target. What is going on with AlphaTauri? How have they done this season? They got one. We got one fastest lap. They have not had any wins, podiums, or pole positions. Can I see results? Previous race results. This is, I'm assuming, the most recent race. So AlphaTauri came in 6th place with Pierre Gasly in Jeddah. And then Pierre Gasly came in 7th again. Man, Pierre is doing pretty freaking well. That's not cool. Can I compare him with... no, we can only compare drivers internally. We don't know. I guess we've not scouted the other drivers. I think we can actually compare our car performance, though. We can do a car analysis of the AlphaTauri team. And yeah, we'll just compare Mick's car with Pierre Gasly's car. So Pierre has the right side. So he's got a bump in speed by a tiny, tiny bit, 0.3 of a kilometer per hour. A little bit better on acceleration. We have, I mean, it's minuscule differences here. Slightly better top speed, slightly completely even acceleration. We have better performance in the dirty air, and we have better brake and engine cooling. But it's really, really small. I'm guessing the actual driver performance is really, really important. With that being said, how long does it take to scout someone? We are 9 days away from getting our scouting done with Jack and Teo. 73 and 72. What I'm hoping, again, these are young drivers. I'd like to find that driver that's really a little bit younger, who's not terribly far off in terms of quality, and just needs a couple of rounds in the seat, as it were. Kevin's 29, Mick's 23. I wonder what we might be able to do is perhaps, if we have enough money going into the next season, we might be able to move Mick to the reserve driver slot if he doesn't get another ticket, and replace him with another driver on the circuit at some point in the future. Anyways, friends, that is the end of this episode. Not too fantastic. We've got Italy coming up next. We have Miami after that. We should be getting closer to our design. We are 1 day away, in fact, from our designs. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do 1 day so we can see the fruits of our labor. We did improve our race simulator. We did finish our front wing, and we should have finished the rear wing as well. Can we take a look at the differences in the car parts here? So if we go into new project, manufacturing, front wing, we can see that the front wing number 2, which we have none of, has a pretty minor improvement. A pretty minor improvement. So how long would this take us to build this part? Approach, we've got a rushed emergency. It's interesting. Oh, hang on. This is really short turnaround time. 3 days, 2 days, or 0 days. Oh. So we could, theoretically, we got 10 days until Emilia Romagna, which is the race in Italy. I mean, all of the cornering is kind of important, and all of these front wing designs affect cornering. So if we want to, it's probably going to take 6 days. Ooh, we have 10 days to work with. Okay, this will be rushed. They have to put in some extra hours. Lower experience gain. Because remember, shoot, we can't do concurrent stuff. We have to wait for both of these to be done. I'm going to go ahead and confirm 2 new front wings. 4 days total. And then we're going to do 2 rear wings also rushed. And I guess we can do these concurrently because it's like an order of 2 separate things. Oh, good. So it's actually, we didn't really have to rush that. I thought it would be the first 2 and then the next 2. So both of these new sets of wings will be finished before Italy. Oh, that's great. Well, awesome. Then how about we also go ahead and take a look. I mean, this took a long time. How much? We have no more CFD time available. We have no more wind available either. Okay. So, interesting. So we could just design a new chassis. Just generically try to do better. Without any hours available in the CFD or the wind tunnel, however, it's not going to get that boost that it would have had if we were to allocate some time. So in 20 days, do we wait 20 days or do we just go ahead and yeet a brand new design out here? This is pretty big, a pretty big improvement though. 53% drag reduction as opposed to 49%. Suspension drag reduction, I mean, I can't really tell where we're lacking at. I think everything's going to help a little bit. 24% up to 31.63. I don't know which one's better. What about just, I feel like the full chassis is a pretty big deal. We probably want to have the testing facilities. Maybe just the side pods. How about we design a new side pod and optimized aerodynamics is going to make a improvement in the cornering, but take a little bit off on cooling. In fact, can I just completely remove cooling? We have a really good amount of cooling on the car, more than other areas too. So we can pretty severe, I don't know, it's not even that bad to be honest with you. We go down to 49.11 on the engine cooling. We probably don't want to lose that quite that much. But if we focus on drag reduction and airflow, that seems like it's a pretty big jump, right? So the airflow over the front, the airflow over the middle is improved quite a bit. I don't really know what the percentages equate to. I guess let's try it out. We're going to throw all the engineers at this project. It's going to take 36 days. If we do a rush job, they do lose expertise, correct? Lower experience gain. Higher cost, but more expertise, which will improve future designs of the same part. I think we'll just go with the rush design, because that means in 20 days, we're going to get more hours again on our simulator, and we can put those hours towards a new chassis. So we're going to go with the 300K design. So 24 days from now, we'll have a new part to manufacture. Oh gosh, that's 20, I lost track of numbers. Too many numbers, my brain just broke. 24 days plus 6 or 4 days for manufacturing. So 30 days out. What is the race that's 30 days out? That's what I should have calculated here. Math is hard. Thankfully, it turns out there's like 30 days in a month. So we would be ready for the Spanish Grand Prix, which is going to be, everything's important. Again, as always. I should start looking at that though. That combo is going to be kind of important. As we design a new part, we'll want to design the part that's going to help us the most immediately. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining me. That was a lot of crazy stuff there at the end. We will come back to the saga of Haas F1. There's still time. There's still plenty of races for Mick and Kevin to turn this team around. Gene Haas will not throw me off the balcony. I will make Haas great again. It'll be fantastic, my friends. I'll catch you again in the next episode. Until then, take care.